Great little project now for summer. We've set up, or I'm in the process of setting up, the paddling pool for the kids. Now the question is, can we heat it with two heat pumps that I've got from the auction and fixed? So this is the paddling pool behind me. I picked this up last year at the end of summer in the auctions. I think it was just some excess stock. Each year I've been getting bigger and bigger, and now this one is 4.2 meters in diameter, which is massive. So the question is, can we heat 16,000 litres off our solar panels? It's a big ask, but we'll give it a go. We've got two heat pumps that I've repaired, so fingers crossed. I think that gives us 7 kilowatts in total of power. So can we get those working? Right, I'll run you through the setup. We have our swimming pool. That is actually 13,200 litres of water that holds, so it's 4.2 metres wide by a metre or so high. We have an intake and an outtake there, so the water comes out of the pool here, and that hose there into our pump. This is a 7,000 litres per minute per hour pump, so in theory this can pump the entire contents of that pool through itself every 2 hours. So it's quite a beefy pump. Hopefully it's not too strong for the heat pumps. It comes out of there, goes down this cable, this pipe here into our first heat pump. So this is a 3.75 kilowatt heat pump. It comes out of that one, goes into our next heat pump. This one, I got both of these from the auction, so it's the same as that, but the electronics in there in this panel was all faulty, so I've repaired that and replaced it with just a standard PID controller here that I got off Amazon for a few quid. It's not watertight, so I'm going to have to find some way of making it waterproof. And then out of there we come back round. There we go. So that goes out to the jet that we saw earlier, or I can change the valve here and it comes round that pipe and to our fancy LED waterfall thing there. And that's it. The wires, got an external plug here that comes into here, goes through a Tapo P110 smart switch that does energy monitoring as well, and then the electricity is split three ways, so one goes to the pump and the other two are for the heat pump, and that's it. That is the setup. So we have what's that, over 7 kilowatts of heating power, and we're going to try and heat 13,000 litres of water, ideally running off our solar panels. That is our challenge. This is also part of our setup. Built this last year and it did get a bit wet. It sprung a leak, so some of the electronics has gone a bit rusty, but it still seems to be working this year. I'm just charging it up now. Essentially we've got 3D printed funnel, little temperature sensor on the bottom that plugs into a Wemos D1 Mini microcontroller. We've got a little battery on there, 3.7 volt battery. This thing with the light on, that's an MPPT charge controller, solar charge controller. And then so I 3D printed the top here, wired up a simple solar panel on there, and then just covered the whole thing in resin afterwards, so it's all sort of sealed, and then covered this whole bottom part with resin because the 3D print itself is not waterproof. So the idea is that it connects every 5 minutes or so to the Wi-Fi, sends its voltage reading and sends the temperature of the pool into Home Assistant, and then goes back to sleep for 5 minutes to save power. And that's it. It just keeps waking up every 5 minutes. And the idea is that just floats away in the pool and keeps itself charged. Alright, let's see what we're doing at the moment. So we are generating 1.2 kilowatt by 3. It's going up, sun's coming out. We're getting to 2, about 2 kilowatts at the moment. So Fingers crossed we can use, I would imagine, less than 1.5 kilowatts to heat the pool. So the idea with Home Assistant is I can switch on the pool heater whenever we're exporting a kilowatt or so to the grid. Save waste in it because I don't get paid for money that goes out to the grid. Instead, we can use it to heat the pool. That's the idea. Fingers crossed. If we can do that for 4 or 5 hours a day, then maybe it can make a difference and raise the temperature by a few degrees. Right, everything is fired up now. Pumps running. I don't think we've got any significant leaks. You can't see that because of the refresh, but that's 18.5 degrees. This one says 17 degrees, so I think 17 degrees coming out of the pool into the first heater, and then that's warming it to what looks like 19 degrees. I'll see that one, 19.2, so that's warming that one up. So the second heat pump thinks it's 19, so that will then heat as well. So I'm assuming we've only got a little bit of water coming out, so I think the pump's working really hard. Let's check the temperature. Oh, it does feel a couple of degrees warmer. Yeah. Just wondering why the pump's struggling so much. Okay, we're getting a bit of air in the system. That seems to be a better flow now. This one went up to 27 degrees. The other one is at 20 degrees. Seems like a bit of air is getting into the pump at the moment because I don't think the water. It's not. Can you see that? Where are we? There. It's not fully covering, which is fine. Okay, we've connected everything up to Home Assistant now, so I can operate the main switch to turn everything on and off, and I can also monitor the energy usage and runtime. So we can see, we can try and optimize this and turn it on when we've got solar and turn it off when we don't. Temperature seems to be stabilized at the moment. So first heater is 17 degrees. Second heater is 18.4, which I think has gone up from 18.2, but I'll leave it another hour or two and then we'll check it again to see if it is actually going up. Okay, 3 days later now, and what have we learned? We've been running the heat pumps for 3 days. Let's have a look. We started 21st, 25th, there we go. So we've been running in total 883 minutes, which is 14 hours. We've used 18 kilowatt hours of energy. When everything's running, so the two heat pumps themselves and the pump to pump the water in total is 1.2 kilowatts. Which I think is incredible, considering that that's putting out what's claimed to be 7.5 kilowatts of heating power. That's incredible efficiencies, but I don't think it's enough for the 13,000 litres. So we're kind of stuck again now. I did some testing and I heated a barrel of water and that took like an hour to get it up to 40 degrees. That was just with one heat pump. I've also used it on an 800 litre jacuzzi. That heated up very well in the space of a few hours. But I think 13,000 litres is just too much for them. I think we're losing heat at the same rate as I'm putting it in. So I'm going to need probably 2 more heat pumps of that size, or just one 15 kilowatt heat pump, especially because there's no insulation or covers or anything. So I also tried swapping the pump over to a 1500 version instead of the 2500, but it didn't seem to make any difference. I figured the slower flow of water, it might heat it up quicker. So that's a little disappointing, but we've learnt a lot, and this is year 2-3 that I've been doing these pulls, so I feel either the end of this summer or next year at the latest I'm going to crack this. So I just need maybe some insulation, or certainly another heat pump or a bigger heat pump. So I'm going to get back to the auction, see what I can find on the cheap, and stay tuned. I'm sure there will be another version of heating our pool video. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you on the next one.